13-year-old Sandra has autism. She's hyperactive. She could stay up for hours without rest or sleep, and her parents have been seeking medical help to improve her condition. But the El Sigaches Village, or EGV, the country's only comprehensive residential facility for people with mental and learning disabilities, could not take her in. According to social worker Toby Regala, EGV only accepts patients who are homeless or without families.
Kasi kalimitan talagang dapat yung mga kliyente natin ito ay abandon or one lahat na mga kliyente. Kasi ang layunin naman ng DSWD kasama ang NCGACHES ay patatagin yung pamilya.
But even with this policy in place, EGV is already stretched beyond its capacity. And whatever is lacking in the facilities, Regala says EGV compensates for through its staff.
Sa bilang ng aming kliyente na 603 at ang capacity lang ng aming center ay 470. So para sa mga house parent namin at mga staff, talagang naglalaan sila ng panahon para masigurado na yung serbisyo ay naibibigay nila dun sa aming mga kliyente.
EGV was founded in 1964 when the couple Samuel and Elsie Gatches donated their 19-hectare property in Alabang, Muntinlupa City to the Department of Social Welfare and Development, on the condition that the land be used for the establishment of a mental health facility. The old Gatches residence itself has now been turned to classrooms. Only 9 hectares of the property are used by the EGV complex, which is further divided into 4 different clusters. Each cluster is comprised of 3 to 4 residential cottages, where EGV's 600 clients live. Aside from the cottages, the village has a sizable laundry, kitchen, and several clinics. The size alone poses many problems for EGV staff.
Siyempre, dahil malaki yung aming center, unang-una sa komunikasyon. Halimbawa, doon sa aming mga cottages o sa mga bahay. So, wala pa kami dito yung intercom tinatawag. So, maganda sana yun kung mayroong bawat cottages na mayroong intercom na kung saan kung mayroong emergency doon sa isang cottage, madaling maitatawag sa opisina, sa admin, para mabigyan ng karampatang solusyon yung problema dun sa cottage o kaya sasakyan. Kasi halimbawa yung ambulansya namin isa lang, so pag nasira yon, so kung mayroong mga bata na kinakailangan ipa-hospital, so hindi namin kagad yun na ipapadala sa ospital. So ang ginagawa namin, nagkarenta tayo ng taxi para madala natin sa ospital ng mga kliyente.
But, according to EGV's property custodian, most of the village's problems stem from underfunding.
Binibigyan kami ng 21 pero parang kulang talaga sa pagkain pa lang, kulang talaga siya. Kaya nag-ano kami sa mga external resources.
The 21 million budget is not enough, and as a result, EGV has had to turn to the private sector to sustain their operations.
Kung mayroong kakulangan sa mga notebook, kaya sa mga gamot, so ginagawa natin, sumusulat tayo doon sa mga kumpanya kung pwede natin silang mahinga ng tulong. O kaya yung mga donors, regular donors ng NCGACHES, kung sinusulatan natin sila pagka may mga okasyon dito sa center.
Several of EGV's facilities, in fact, have come from donations. Just 30 minutes drive south of EGV is the Birthright Educators Foundation, a private institution that also caters to children with learning and mental disabilities. Birthright has a smaller number of students and staff. It follows the School of Tomorrow learning system, which allows students to learn at their own pace. One-to-one therapy sessions in Birthright cost 90,000 pesos a year, but the director says the school gives subsidies to those who cannot pay.
Pay for tuition. We really have a tuition fee for everybody. But for example, a parent comes and then he says, gusto ko sana anak ko dito, kaya lang hindi namin ma-afford ang tuition fee. So, how much can you afford? And then we agree, okay. Basta ang aming policy is we don't reject a child. There are some children who don't pay tuition fees at all because we know na wala talagang earning, single parent.
Aside from that, the school also supports business initiatives of the students' parents. Birthright has allowed one of the mothers to set up a canteen free of rent. They also buy the beadwork that some mothers sell. The Learning Center in Parañaque has a similar program for its students called the Sheltered Social Enterprise Program, where students make handicraft and foodstuff that are put up for sale. Yearly tuition fees in the Learning Center reach around 86,000 pesos. It boasts of a spacious campus and extensive facilities for the care of its students. However, according to the curriculum director Landa Bautista, the school still faces difficulties in finances.
So as a foundation, of course, one of our challenges is, well, I guess financial. We need a lot more funding to institute or to start a lot of our programs.
So, even when they're privately funded, both Birthright and TLC rely on the private sector for assistance.
No? Recently, we've been able to hold fundraising activities, and we've been able to get grants. We were able to get a grant from the Australian Embassy, the Direct Aid program recently, and we were also able to get a grant from Globe from Globe Bridging Communities for our sheltered workshop.
The one who's helping us so much right now is the Alabang Ladies International Group. May feeding sila sa amin doon sa dump site.
Ms. Bautista bewails the lack of government support for special education.
I think special education has taken has taken a back seat in terms of funding and in terms of resources made available for them. And if we can provide more access and more teachers and more services for our special population, then that will be great.
In the end, she sees that cooperation with the government as well as the implementation of existing laws can help improve the overall situation.
I think a lot of networking will be great. Maybe if we can really implement the Magna Carta and the provisions of the Magna Carta for individuals with special needs, then I think that would be a really great step.
This is Ralph T. reporting on PWDs.